Now at 5, weather impact alert days due to high heat, high humidity all help you prepare for the latest heat wave.
And cranking up the AC to keep up with the hot air. Will it raise utility bills even more?
That's right. We're looking at just how much more we're going to already pay compared to last year when it comes to our utility bills.
Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, who will be the starting quarterback for the Colts in 2025? Well, we're not going to know after day one of Colts training camp. A recap of how they did coming up in sports.
Well, it was hot today, and guess what? Even hotter tomorrow.
That's right. What you're looking at here, these numbers are the temperatures out west, and these are the temperatures that are headed our way. This is the heat index.
Yes.
We're talking heat index over 100 degrees.
Oh.
It is hot. It is humid, and you've been warned.
You have been warned. So Angela's here. She has a look at how long all of this is sticking around so we can all be prepared.
Yeah, sticking. For sure.
Okay.
Oh, correct word to use. We're all going to be sticky for probably the next 5 to 7 days.
Oh, wow.
At least. So this is going to stick around.
Oh my gosh. Is work canceled?
No, we work inside. But if you do work outside or you've got kids that are practicing sports, perhaps getting ready for state fair and band day, just make sure they are hydrated. Make sure those coaches and those in charge know that we're going to need some extra breaks in the next couple of days. It feels like 97 degrees in Indianapolis. Those really high heat index values off to our west do include Terre Haute, now feeling like 109. It feels like 100 in Bedford, feels like 99 degrees in Bloomington and Greencastle. We are under a heat advisory. There are excessive heat warnings, and we're not alone. A good part of the middle portion of the country dealing with the heat. A little axis of storms across the southern sections of Illinois. That's where they will stay today, but our storm chances will start to increase just a bit over the next couple of days. Right now we have actual air temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s. Again, feeling like 95 to 105 for most of us. Hot and humid. 7:05 first pitch at Victory Field. Take advantage of those misting stations and the fact that you can bring some water. You will need the extra hydration. Colts camp on Thursday also going to be hot. More on the heat in the full forecast.
All right, thanks, Angela. We'll check back. Well, it makes sense. As these temperatures climb this week, so will your electric bill, because our air conditioners are going to be working OT big time.
Yeah, Rich and I has the startling numbers from a new report that shows your electric bill is also going up due to historic rate increases.
The report from Citizens Action Coalition says Hoosiers are paying an average of $28 a month more for electricity than they did just a year ago, an increase of 17.5%. That's almost double last year's increase and the biggest jump in 20 years.
This year we noticed, wow, this is shocking. And as the issue of energy and demand and the need for capacity, that's all we hear. All we hear these days is we need power, power, power. We need to build, 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 build. And what we're putting out there, we're beginning the conversation of, okay, this is coming at a price.
Utility companies cannot increase electric rates without prior government approval. So Citizens Action Coalition is simply pointing out the impact to ratepayers from those already approved increases.
AES bills are up almost $17 a month. Duke Energy up nearly $26 a month. The Indiana Energy Association notes that Indiana electric rates are among the lowest compared to states nearby. A statement from the association includes, "In recent years, our energy companies have made substantial investments in additional power generation and modernization of the state's century-old electric grid that delivers that power. We've added advanced technology to the electric grid that reduces power outages and hardens the grid against severe weather. There also have been substantial investments in evolving environmental regulations."
Nobody's saying we want financially unhealthy utilities. Nobody's saying we don't want economic growth, economic development. What we do want is everyday Hoosiers being able to afford the essentials of daily life and live their lives with a little bit of dignity.
Keeping cool comes at a higher price. In Indianapolis, Rich Nye, 13 News.
The 5-member Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission approves all electric rate increases.
But the Citizens Action Coalition says the commissioners are increasingly hamstrung by state legislation that all but requires the commission to approve rate hikes. We'll let you know that there is a man now charged with drunk driving and reckless homicide in a deadly crash that occurred last month on the south side of Indy. It happened in the early morning hours, 3 a.m. on June 20th, at the cross of Man and Southport Roads. Court documents say the driver, 44-year-old James Stowers, was going 94 miles an hour just seconds before impact. Stowers has serious internal injuries, and his passenger, who was 26-year-old Alec Ivy, he died. Court documents say Stowers had a blood alcohol concentration more than twice the legal limit.
An Indiana teen receives a 45-year sentence for killing a man in Anderson.
And that sentence is being suspended under the alternate juvenile sentencing statutes. Joseph Vanote Jr. will be in juvenile detention until he's 18. And at that time, there'll be another hearing, and that will determine if his sentence stays suspended or if he'll serve the remaining years.
Now, Vanote was just 13 years old when he stabbed a 61-year-old Mark Miles to death. Police say he admitted to following Miles home from a gas station and stabbing him with a kitchen knife. His mom turned him in after he returned home with $500 in cash. Cumberland Police Department is the first in the state with a new way to deploy stop sticks. It's a new device to stop criminals and keep officers safe.
So this can remotely deploy these stop sticks using spikes to stop a car during a police chase. Brandon Schaff was in Cumberland today to learn how it works.
Cumberland Police Department has new technology that will allow them to remotely deploy spike strips, hopefully keeping officers out of harm's way.
It's called the Bulldog. Made in the Netherlands, it uses compressed air to deploy the spikes at the touch of a button. Cumberland Police Chief Suzanne Woodland said that this is safer than manually deploying them when an officer throws them on the road and pulls them back. That puts them at risk of being struck by a fleeing car. This new device allows officers to deploy spikes from up to 100 yards away, the length of a football field.
There's a button that these guys can deploy, and it's safer for them where they're not throwing it out and having to pull it back.
Coming up, we'll show you a demonstration of how this device works from a distance, keeping officers away from the road where the pursuit is happening. In Cumberland, Brandon Schaff, 13 News.
We learned today that Cumberland Police usually doesn't pursue cars themselves, but often they do assist with other law enforcement agencies, and that's when they would be used. And this device would allow them to provide that assist in a safer way.
Indianapolis Public Schools is getting $10.5 million from the Lilly Endowment, and it will help fund a 5-year initiative to boost literacy in elementary schools. The money will help provide tutoring for 34,000 second and third graders, expand family literacy programs, and train teachers in science-based reading methods. Lilly is also making grants to private schools in Indy through a separate initiative.